Okay, so this is Psychic Sunday. I tried recording this episode a few times, but was denied by my software. So this is my sixth attempt. I don't know. But we're now to the point where I'm in the living room. You can see my kitchen behind me. But I do want to talk about confidence for sensitive souls because honestly, if this had happened to me 4 or 5 years ago before I learned how to develop my confidence, I probably would not have recorded this video because it is so frustrating whenever things aren't working well. But of course, it's also Mercury in retrograde. Anyway, so without any further ado, I'm going to switch to the slides and we'll go ahead and dive into the 5 barriers to building confidence as a sensitive person. All right, so this is all about the barriers to confidence. I'm going to talk about the most common 5. And the 5 barriers, we're also going to talk about what to do about them. And then I'm going to invite you to join the Confidence for Sensitive Souls course that I'm running. If you don't happen to catch this video until after it's done, there's probably going to be replay, and I'll have information updated somewhere about how to get a hold of that. Okay, so the first barrier is driving the body wrong. Now, if you've never thought of this or heard of this, this might sound like a foreign concept to you, but I want you to keep in mind that you are a spirit that's living in a human meat suit. And since the spirit is in charge and it's designed to be that way, how you hold the body that you live in informs the body that you live in of how to feel. More and more research is coming out. For instance, there's already research that shows when you smile for 30 seconds or a minute, then your body produces happy hormones, even if you're smiling for no reason. There's laughter classes where you show up and just laugh for no reason, specifically because it allows you to produce the happy hormones. And then the same thing is true of confidence. So how you work the machine that you inhabit really, really, really matters. You want to make sure you hold your body in a way that it informs it. It's supposed to feel safe, it's supposed to feel okay, and it's supposed to feel confident. Most of us are either completely unaware of how we are holding the body, or we have been systematically taught over time that we are supposed to hold it small and not take up space. So you'll want to evaluate, and then of course some of us are both, right? So you want to evaluate, you want to start bringing some awareness to how you're holding your body in the moment. And check just right now, are your shoulders back? Is the expression on your face the one that you want to have, right? Just do a check-in. And all of these separate us from our innate power to feel comfortable and confident in our own skin. Because what's happening is the tail is wagging the dog, right? So we're waiting for the body to tell us that we're confident instead of trying to inform and guide the body to a place of feeling like it's in power. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If not, put a little question in the comment box. I do check those and I try to respond to every question or comment. Barrier number 2, ignoring your needs. This is so crucial. Many of us have also been taught to ignore the body's signals and instead just look at what we should need in the moment. This is such a prevalent problem. How many times have you felt like, oh, I'd really like to rest, and it's a day when you actually can rest, you have the time, you don't have anything on the schedule, but you look at the to-do list and you decide that rather than listening to the body and honoring what it needs in the moment, you would rather check things off the list, right? And almost all of us have done this at some point. But what you really want to do is listen to what your body needs, because a tired, sick, or out of alignment body isn't going to be one that supports your connection to your innate spiritual and physical power. Also, by the way, please keep in mind we're also talking about things like playing and making sure you're actually feeling your emotions rather than eating foods that numb the emotions. I'm all for comfort food whenever that's what the body, mind, and spirit really want. I'm not for comfort food whenever the body and spirit are asking you to listen to your emotions and you reach for cake instead of your journal. Okay? So those are vastly different things. Definitely enjoy cake. Also use your journal or whatever other process you use to process your own needs and emotions. Barrier number 3, silencing your own voice. or allowing others to silence your voice. Many sensitives will not speak their truths until they know that the other person will fully receive the information well and with their blessing. That's a lot of expectations to put on other people, by the way. That's just a lot. And so this leads us, the sensitives, to swallow our truths in order to maintain the status quo. Now, the problem is that what we're trying to do is maintain harmony. We want to maintain peace. We want to make sure that everyone else is taken care of. We want to make sure, for instance, if we live in a household, that it runs smoothly. We want to make sure that the energetics are balanced as possible. But what we're talking about, silencing your voice, stifling your truth, that's not harmony. That is an outright lie. Now, what silencing your voice does is it leads us to giving our power to others and making our truth's expression conditional on other people's reactions. Now, I'm not talking about someone who's abusive or would possibly kill you for speaking your truth. You can evaluate your own ethics there about whether or not that's worthwhile. There are people who fall in different places on the spectrum there. What I'm talking about is discomfort. For instance, setting a boundary that is healthy for you to set and not doing it because you fear that they won't absolutely love it, or they might have some discomfort in the short run as they process that boundary, right? Barrier number 4, Leaky Chakra Syndrome. Okay, if you've been following me for a while, you know I've talked about this before. This is something that is in my Empath Mechanics course because it's so foundational for sensitive folks. I've created a video on Psychic Sunday about this, and I've shouted it out in multiple other videos on different Psychic Sundays because this is foundational. Leaky Chakra Syndrome is when your energy has leaks from being overly attached to others' opinions, right? So you care whether they approve or disapprove of you. You care about the judgment. And what happens is that energetic hook goes in to their well-being or into their energy, and then you are energetically connected, but not in a healthy and supportive way. There are absolutely healthy energetic cords that bind us and create a stable, healthy community. But whenever you have leaky chakra syndrome, you know, because those bonds make you weaker rather than strengthen you. Healthy community strengthens us. Leaky chakra syndrome is whenever you're attached to another person's energy and it is weakening your energetic field, right? So this is overly attached. And whenever that happens, a piece of your energy latches onto theirs and your energy will be connected to them even when this isn't for the highest good of you both. So you can work with this by calling your energy back to your body and your energy field. And that allows you to start plugging those leaks. So a very simple way to do this is to put your hands over your heart, take a few relaxing breaths, and simply say, I call all of my energy back to me now. And then just feel as all of that energy comes back. You can pause this video, try it on, let me know in the comments how it went. I'm going to move on. I hope you tried that if it resonated with you. The 5th barrier is the negative feedback loop. So this is the loop that we get into whenever we start to go down a bit of a spiral. So we get into an unhelpful pattern that reinforces itself and makes it harder to move forward, right? And it drives you further and further away from your heart's true desires, but you can't quite break the loop even if you know that it's there. An example is having a single bad interaction in a week. Maybe you're out in public and someone says something rude and then you second guess yourself for days. Lots of sensitives have gone through this. And the trick to a negative feedback loop where it kind of pulls you out of your element is to learn how to let that go. That is a skill set. Letting go is a skill set. Make sure you really get that in your mind and your heart. It's a skill set and you can learn it. So you want to learn to let that go, and then you want to establish positive feedback loops. These are feedback loops that reflect your true divinity to you, not a denial for what is true in the world or in your heart, especially if it's something uncomfortable that needs addressing, but instead your ability to work through and navigate that. So even if you don't know how to navigate a problem you're experiencing right now, that is something that you can learn, and it's something that you can take small and appropriate actions on anytime that you feel called to, and with time and consistent effort, you will get there. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're learning to let go and establish positive feedback loops. Now, my favorite way to do this that checks all of the boxes is the inner steel technique. Now, there's a link somewhere around this video with the download information for how to get the inner steel technique. And the inner steel technique puts all of this together in one spot. You only use it twice a day for 5 minutes. And you choose a goal or an insecurity that you'd like to work on. And then you choose a pose. That's where you get that posture. You call up the image of what you'd like to release or call in, depending on what you're working with that day. And then you listen to your own needs and desires and your own truths. And what this does is it breaks the negative feedback loop. It helps you feel confident and centered in your body. And it allows you to break through all 5 barriers, including the Leaky Chakra Syndrome, and lets you move on. So definitely download that. And by the way, if it calls to you and you're wanting to go a lot deeper with your own confidence, you want to shore up those energetic systems, you want to learn how to listen to your own truth and speak it to others, definitely join us for the Confidence for Sensitive Souls course. It actually starts on this Sunday. However, there will be a replay, and if you do catch this after the fact, we will have a link to the downloads that you can get. So go ahead and follow whatever link is appropriate for you, and I hope to see you there. Have a good one.